I want to take a minute and talk about retirement options. So many doctors, you call us and ask us these questions all the time. What's the best way to sell my practice? When should I transition? How should I transition? So we come up with kind of basic options that doctors have to transition out of practice. So let's cover those now.
All right, let's talk about your vision for retirement. And probably more important is what your options are. Some people have trouble establishing a vision or a goal till they know what's on the table. So let's take a look at that. We say there's 4 major directions you can go. The one you all think of, the one that people want to talk to you about, is sell your practice and walk away. Because a lot of times it's a practice broker in every state. There's dozens of practice brokerages. And they want to list your practice. It seems that they don't really want to sell it, but they want to list it.
They want to get the listing, just like a house, right?
All right, now, if you're taking notes, this is what I tell anybody that's serious about a transition. Selling and walking away is the highest risk you can encounter. To sell it to somebody, especially somebody you don't know or somebody you think you know, and then it goes bad. The motivation can be there to throw that practice back at you with a lawsuit for misrepresentation. Now, there's things you can do to make a sell and walk away less risky. There's always risk because, as you know, if you've ever had an associate or been an associate, you can stand right next to an owner doctor, or the associate can stand right next to you. And after 3 years, it would seem that they haven't learned the secrets of making the practice go.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. So the thought that they're going to work with you a few months, or maybe even 6 or 12 months, I would have to say that probably increases your odds of success and lowers your risk. It's still not perfect. Like I said, this one is the one that's the tough one. For example, you can get more buyers if you'll carry some of the loan. But in doing that, you have risk. What if they die? What if any number of things happen?
Right.
They end up in a divorce, or they end up sick, or whatever. So this one, I want you to be aware that everything you can learn about it would be smart. Learn more and take more precautions. Like I said, you can lower the risk very low, but you got to jump through a lot of hoops.
Right.
All right, let's look at the next option. Sell and stay. This one is very popular in the minds of the people we work with. Let me explain that. Popular in their mind because it kind of works for them. It's a way to kind of put my toe in the retirement waters. I'll kind of try this out, slow down while this other person takes on the practice, and I'm here with my experience to keep it going. And there is no doubt this improves your odds. The risk in here is one you don't see. There's a risk, but it's not the same as sell and walk away. Sell and walk away, there's just the risk of failure. Somebody that just doesn't practice the way you doesn't have the same values. All right, with sell and stay, your greatest risk, this is where you cut back to 2 days a week, and you take certain kind of patients, and you let this new buyer, and the thought is the new buyer is going to really value you because you're such a producer. They do for about 2 years, and then they're tired of hearing about how great you are and how people have been with you 20 or 30 years and love you, and there's just nobody like you. Associate doctors or buyers get tired of hearing about your legend. So
it comes from the staff too. I mean, they get sick of hearing from it from all angles.
Yeah, like you're no Dr. Wonderful.
Another thing in sell and stay is popular is selling to a corporate group, which would fall under this area. And we have doctors that do that. One thing they don't like is they get used to being the owner,
calling the shots,
and they see another group kind of messing with what they created. And they don't like it, and they kind of see the 2-year sentence that they have,
or 5 years.
Sometimes it's 5 years as a sentence. So understand what you're getting into.
Really read the fine print on a corporate. And it's not that they're not fair or right.
No.
But if you're thinking of mentally walking away while the body stays here and kind of goes through the motions,
It's tough for them.
it doesn't work well.
Right.
All right, so sell and stay is very good, except when you want to stay a long time. The new buyers usually are ready for you to leave, no matter what you say, what they sign, or how much you produce. In 2 years, you can be kind of driven out. And you think, well, I got a contract. Yeah, but if they get rid of all your staff or they bring in people, yeah, they can make your life miserable.
They can make it so you want out.
All right, stay and slow down. This means you're not selling. There's 2 ways to do this: stay and slow down. In other words, you were going 4 days a week, full speed. So you cut back to 2.5 days. And the things you got to keep in mind is you got to pay your staff for a full-time job. That's what they signed on for. And now here you're cutting them back to 2.5 days. So you're probably not going to save on the key personnel's paycheck. You might be able to do it with fewer staff, but this becomes a problem, or becomes a challenge. So you slow down. Maybe you're really working on better cases. You got a lot of sedation, a lot of good implants. You got a lot of good big cases, and that can work, just plain and simple. And you can go on for another 5 or 10 years, just killing it. And so stay and slow down without an associate. The other is to stay and slow down with an associate. This is you bringing on an associate, but not giving up equity. Nobody's buying anything from you. You're still there, you're still productive, and you have an associate who can kind of find their way forward with your oversight. And I have to say that is one of the more successful programs. It's one of the ones that we specialize in, staying in your practice longer and slowing down while an associate picks up the slack. And it really provides a lot of what you want. Number one, you got a built-in buyer that you know and trust, and that knows and trusts you. Number two, you can experiment with the length and duration of time off. You go and take a week and see what happens. Well, darn, they've set a record while you're gone. That actually happens, by the way. And it's pretty exciting to set a record while you're not there. In fact, we had a doctor, he went to Scotland to play some golf and be out of the country. And the practice set their biggest month ever record. So, and I'm sure he had mixed feelings, you know, do they really, what am I, chopped liver, you know? Okay, so you can stay and slow down. And here's the thing you have to consider. How long will you be healthy? And they talk about this life expectancy and health expectancy. This might be when some aspect of your health says you need to work less. I mean, like a lot less, maybe not at all. That's the risk you take with staying farther and farther into the stay and slow down without an associate. You're still going to come out money ahead. I can tell you that, unless you get sick day one. So stay and slow down with an associate. This has been low risk, good payout. And this kind of fulfills what most doctors want. It's them saying, you know, I lived the dream. I was working 2 days a week. I was taking, a month off a year at a time. And I was treating the cases I've always dreamed of. It's living the dream.
Right.
All right, next, what we call a sustainable practice, meaning you can slow down or you can actually quit and walk away and still take an income from the practice. Similar to stay and slow down, this is not about equity. In other words, there is no buyer in the stay and slow down posture. There's associates seeking opportunity, and they're building up a leadership team and putting systems in place that make the place run on its own. Now, this is both predictable and sustainable. You can do this, but you got to follow some rules. You got to have a good leader. You got to have somebody you trust. That can't be your spouse. Who are you going to vacation with if your husband or your wife is still in there running the practice. That's not going to work. So this one right here, sustainable posture, this one isn't really age related, because if you're not there, it doesn't matter if you're at home on a ventilator or on a walker or whatever you are, wherever you are, that practice is still pumping and still going strong. Now, what you got to provide is opportunity, meaning associates go, wow, I love being here. A lot of patients, we're killing it. This is great. A couple things I want to just throw in so that you know the reality of it. Making associates successful is a relative term. We never set out to make them as successful as you were. One associate will not likely produce what you did at your best. It's possible. We've seen it a few times. But usually it's cobbling together several associates, some of them 2 days a week, some 3 days a week. You put together several associates, and today, thanks to Google reviews, we can actually market people in at a realistic price. And because of the reviews of your practice, people come in kind of ready to buy when they come in from advertising. That's kind of a new twist. So we're doing well with the sustainable posture, stay and slow down, sustainable. These are the two areas that we serve. We're good with the other two because, for example, we have doctors who have saved so much money, $20 million. And
Well, yeah, why mess around with this?
why,
Yeah.
why even deal with this? I'm going to go get a place on the beach in Hawaii, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But we do have a set of rules that go with those, and if you follow them, you'll be good. And we also have systems that are stay and slow down and sustainable.
Yeah, so if you'd like to learn more, sign up for one of our webinars. We'll go into more detail about how we can help you find an associate, bring them on, and make them successful.
If you just want to talk to, you're talking to somebody about this, or you're considering it, let us know.